I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today because we are going to unravel the incredibly fascinating history of a true underdog, the unlikely hero of our digital age, the @ symbol. We see it literally everywhere. We use it constantly. But the story of how it survived centuries of history to become the absolute cornerstone of global connectivity, well, it's nothing short of an epic survival tale.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to take a second and actually think about it. How many times did you type that little swirly character today? Honestly, count them up. Maybe you logged into your email, tagged a friend on a post, or mentioned a colleague in a quick work message. It's the absolute linchpin of our daily digital lives. But how did this highly specific, kind of quirky character become the master key to the internet?
Well, here is the crazy truth. The symbol defining our hypermodern, high-speed digital age is actually centuries older than the internet itself. It's an underdog that survived the rise and fall of empires, the Industrial Revolution, and constantly changing communication standards, completely against all odds. It wasn't dreamed up by some tech visionary in Silicon Valley. It's actually something we inherited from our deep past.
So, to understand its origins, we've got to travel all the way back to the 6th century. Paleographers, the folks who study ancient writing, believe the symbol started out as a ligature. And a ligature is basically just a character formed by joining 2 or more letters into a single glyph. Think of it like a medieval life hack. Scribes and monks who were desperately trying to save time and highly expensive parchment took the Latin word ad, which means toward or at, and just exaggerated the upstroke of the D, curving it all the way over the A in one fluid stroke.
Tracing its timeline, it's wild to see the massive historical jumps our symbol made just to survive. We go from 6th century Monkish Shorthand to an early shape found in a 1345 Bulgarian translation of a Greek chronicle. Then, boom, we see it in 1536 in a Florentine merchant's letter about shipping wine. From there, it eventually makes its way onto the 1885 Underwood typewriter before finally finding its ultimate destiny in the 1971 ARPANET email.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the symbol transitioned from the quiet desks of monks to the bustling, chaotic ledgers of Mediterranean merchants. In Spain and Portugal, the symbol actually came to represent the arroba. That was a unit of weight equivalent to about 25 pounds. Back in 1536, a Florentine merchant named Francesco Lappe used it in a letter sent from Seville to Rome, basically using it to denote an amphora, which was a standard clay jar used to transport wine. Just like that, it became a vital tool for early global trade.
And because of this mercantile heritage, the symbol evolved into a highly specific commercial shorthand. It came to mean at the rate of or at the price of. So, an accountant in a hurry would just quickly jot down 10 units at $2 each to tally up their invoices. For centuries, while other medieval symbols completely faded out of existence and were forgotten, our little character quietly survived, just hiding out in the financial ledgers of the world.
But get this, it was almost lost to history entirely. No way, right? The first typewriters in the mid-1800s didn't even include it. It was also completely missing from early punch card census machines. It wasn't until 1885, when the Underwood typewriter included what they called the commercial A, that its survival was really guaranteed. Typewriter manufacturers realized businesses still absolutely needed it for their accounting. And that incredibly practical decision, that's what secured the symbol's permanent spot on the modern keyboard.
Fast forward to 1971. Computer engineer Ray Tomlinson is working on ARPANET, which is essentially the precursor to the internet. He's facing a massive dilemma. He wants to send electronic messages between totally different computers on the network, but he desperately needs a way to separate a specific person, the user, from their specific machine, the host computer. How do you clearly tell a computer system where to route a message?
Tomlinson needed a separator, and he found the absolute perfect one sitting quietly above the P on his Model 33 teletype keyboard. He chose it for a few absolutely brilliant reasons. First off, it was already right there on the keyboard, so the hardware didn't need to change at all. Second, it was practically never used in usernames or programming code, meaning the computer wouldn't accidentally get confused. And most importantly, it logically meant located at. It intuitively linked a human identity with a digital geography. Now, with this revolutionary new system in place, Tomlinson fired off the very first networked email between 2 side-by-side computers in his room. You'd think the message would be something profound, right? Like one small step for man, or something historic. Instead, Tomlinson later admitted the message was completely forgettable. It was literally just a random keyboard smash. Probably something like QWERTYUOP. But the syntax he created that day, that changed human communication forever.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the whole thing works under the hood. Let's break down the anatomy of an email address. First, you have the local part.
which is you, the user. Then you have the domain, which is your host location. And right there in the middle is our @ symbol, acting as the critical bridge connecting your identity to your exact digital location on the web. It is literally the perfect marriage of a medieval scribe shortcut and modern digital architecture.
Now, as email exploded globally, something wonderful happened. Because the symbol didn't really have a universal spoken name outside of English-speaking commerce, different cultures just started giving it their own affectionate nicknames based on its swirly shape. Just look at this cultural tour. It's fantastic. In Italy, it's the snail. In Germany, it's the spider monkey. Israelis call it a strudel. In Finland, it's the meow meow because they think it looks like a sleeping cat. And in Taiwan, it's the little mouse. I mean, it perfectly shows how we naturally humanize our technology.
But hey, its evolution didn't stop at just email. In Spanish-speaking regions, the symbol has found a profound new linguistic purpose. Because Spanish uses gendered word endings, so typically O for masculine and A for feminine, speakers began using the symbol to create a really clever, inclusive, gender-neutral tool. Because the shape visually combines an O and an A, writing out Hola los viejos amigos elegantly includes both male and female friends in a single, simple keystroke.
And then boom, came the social media pivot. The symbols shifted from denoting a location to commanding attention. Starting in early internet chat rooms like IRC to denote operator status, it really quickly became the universal standard for mentions and tags on massive platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Placing it in front of a username turned the symbol into a tool for direct public address. It's what allowed us to build these massive, interconnected public networks of engagement we use today.
The cultural and technological impact of this tiny character is so profound that in the year 2010, the Museum of Modern Art in New York officially added the symbol to its architecture and design collection. They recognized its incredible elegance, its visual economy, and its undeniable status as a defining icon of the computer age. Think about that. A medieval abbreviation was now officially hanging out as modern art.
So the crucial point is, this symbol is never static, and it's evolving again right now. In the traditional email model, your digital identity is basically owned by a massive corporate server, and if they shut down, you lose your online presence. But the future points toward decentralized identifiers, or DIDs. Think of this like carrying your own digital ID card right in your pocket, rather than leaving it locked away in some tech company's filing cabinet. We are actually shifting away from centralized hosts controlling our access. New technologies, like the protocol powering the social network Blue Sky, allow you to hold your own secure credentials. What this really means is that your posts, your connections, and your identity aren't locked into just one company's server anymore. If a network dies, your identity survives and simply points to a new location. You own it.
Let's move forward and see how this builds out. In this completely decentralized future, the @ symbol will no longer tether you to a specific host machine like Ray Tomlinson originally designed back in the 70s. Instead, your handle, preceded by our familiar swirly symbol, becomes a simple, human-readable nickname for your unique, secure, cryptographic digital fingerprint. It becomes a fully portable key to your independent online existence.
So from 6th century scribes saving a bit of parchment, to merchants weighing wine, to engineers connecting ARPANET, and now all the way to the frontier of decentralized digital sovereignty, it leaves us with a truly thrilling question to consider. When you type that little swirly symbol 100 years from now, what incredible universe of identity will it unlock? This ancient shortcut has continually reinvented itself, and it is undoubtedly going to continue defining our digital destiny for generations to come.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more How Meets History.